The following program is brought to you by Jack Miller.
It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Forget what they teach you in school. This is real life, not Wall Street, but Main Street. A real show on what's really involved with starting and running a business with all the ups and downs. Our guests will answer your questions and provide you with valuable information. Stay tuned and join in the conversation.
Thanks, world, for sticking it out. The commercials, I hope you visit our sponsors. And, Kevin, thank you. I appreciate you spending your time with us. So back to the questions. Let's focus on the non-serious one first. What is life like for you? And the only thing I can compare it to is, what's his name, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, in The Ballers. The Rock. How much of it's fiction? How much of it's real? What's it like compared to that?
Well, my answer might be a little bit biased because I love The Rock, but I have watched the show Ballers, and it is real to a T. It's real to a T, and it exemplifies what professional athletes go through in regards to their family, friends, people being leached, just being able to watch out for being used as a professional athlete, and they go through that a lot, It's a little bit different from what I handle on a managerial standpoint on an everyday basis because The Rock is playing the role of a financial manager for a firm. So it's a little bit different, but the things that the professional athletes are going through in the movie Ballers, in the TV show, it is true.
It's true. Okay. Sounds like an exciting life. So more important, I spoke to you, I don't remember the other day, and you have an inspirational story about not giving up and having a goal and sticking to your goal and overcoming obstacles. So maybe if you could share with our audience, because I think really this is the story, because people can relate to this, and I believe everyone has obstacles in their life, and the trick is overcoming the obstacles. We all get knocked down. It's how we get up. So maybe you can walk us through your journey to how you got here, what obstacles you've had, and how you had the inner strength and fortitude to overcome those obstacles and turn it into a positive.
Yeah. Well, during my whole lifespan, I think we've all gone through obstacles in our lives, and I've went through quite a many which has gotten me to the point where I'm at today. And in regards to working with different organizations, I was a college coach for about 7 years. And the last place that I was coaching, I was only there for a year, and something transcended where we just wasn't winning. I was a assistant coach for the women's basketball team, and we were not winning as a program. And I got dressed up, came to work with my shirt and tie, and next thing you know, I was fired, and it was a tough pill to swallow in regards to that because you feel like you're giving your best, right? And you're doing everything that you need to get done, and sometimes situation happens where it's out of your control, and sometimes we think we're in control of everything, and I had the opportunity to either sit down and defeat myself by saying, I'm never going to do this again, or I'm never going to coach again, or this is maybe not the right profession for me. Or I had the opportunity to say, you know what, this is a stepping stone. When something like this happens in my life, I'm stepping, one door closes for me to step into another door. And I think a quote that I've heard before, it's called, the name of it is just fall asleep with a dream, wake up with a purpose. I think so many times and I'm going to repeat it again. I think so many times when we were a child, we always had a dream. Like, this is what I would like to be in life. This is what I would like to do. And as we get older, we stop dreaming. We start living life on a day-to-day. We forget how it was as a child to dream and to wake up with a purpose and say, you know what, I'm driven to do this today. I'm going to take my life or my career or my job to a whole nother level. And sometimes people, we forget that. Guess what? Obstacles come, and we're going to get knocked down. But, if I had to give a quote or just say how I feel about those situations where you're facing obstacles is, listen, like, you may get hired, you may get fired, you may get promoted, and then you may get demoted. But guess what? That's life. What will be your next move? What's your purpose? What's your passion? And what's your why?
Did you always have this positive attitude? And by the way, I know you're a positive guy because I happened to look the other night at your Twitter account, and every one of your tweets were positive, motivational, inspirational. Where my tweets, I'm complaining, I'm ragging.
Well, it's also like you on the show, Jack. I mean, you love to rant, and you're the biggest pessimist complainer I've ever met, and yet you're so positive in general. I don't understand.
I don't know. I have a lot of psychological problems. I always said I need a full-time shrink. But, Kevin, I'll tell you, first of all, he's not in the studio. He has the biggest smile in the world. This guy, you got to love him just from his face. But how do you get such motivation to be so positive? And like you say, we all get knocked down. The trick is getting up. How do you get up in such a eloquent, graceful manner? And what advice do you have to give other people? Because everyone's getting knocked down. That's just life.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing to give out there to people, and this is a quote that I heard from Kevin Hart, and he's very successful in regards to what he's doing, but it took time. And sometimes we don't understand that before success, we have to go through some struggle. Struggle comes before success sometimes. And as people, we don't adhere to that. We feel like we should be exempt from struggle. And no, every time that a door closes in my book, or, I've been in a situation where a client may say, hey, we don't need your service anymore, and we decide to go a different direction. You cannot take it personal as much as you will want to, but you have to look where there may be an opportunity for something better. And in my life, I've looked at there's many opportunities. I've been fired a lot. I've been fired so many times, Jack, it left me no choice but to start my own company, if you know what I'm saying.
I understand.
That's right. And by the way, in what you do, which is sales, Kevin, just like Jack and I, every time a client says no, every time they hang up on you when you call them, that's getting fired. I mean, Not getting hired is the same as getting fired in our line of work.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I just think that, it's just, if we don't go through the struggle, we would not know how to be very successful when we get to the top of the mountain. So you have to go through. It's a process. You can't get to process 50 without going to process number 1.
No, I hear you, and we followed the same path. Look, I started my own company. The truth is, no one would hire me, no one would take me, so I turned that into a success. And I've learned to, and it sounds like you have too, flip situations around. When you get knocked down and someone comes and stamps on you, you got to get back up and keep fighting and have the inner fortitude to do it. And look, I always say I cry on the sofa for a night or two, but that's all it takes. And it sounds like you're the same way, and I think that's tremendously inspirational.
That's right. The theme of this show is never give up. And
never give up.
That's right.
That is.
Kevin, were you an athlete growing up?
Yes, I was an athlete. I played. I went to school here in Fort Lauderdale. I played basketball, baseball, tennis. I played at Nova Southeastern University. I played basketball there. So I played collegiate sports.
Got it. And is that how you got interested in doing what you do for a living, or is it something a little beyond that?
Correct. No, that's how I got interested in doing what I'm doing for a living. My first internship out of college was working for the Miami Dolphins, and I did some work for the Miami Heat. And then I got into college coaching, which led me for another seven years in coaching. And then I've taken all of those different experiences in different universities, different professional teams. I was a head coach, coach of women's basketball at Broward College, and I started coaching at a different university, at Lynn University in Boca. So I've moved around a lot, but with every experience, there's always been a good and there's a bad. And what you do, you take it all, and you foster those relationships that you had to build what you're really trying to do with yourself. And I think I've in regards to my successful strides, I think that's what I've done. I took the good with the bad, and I've made a dream become a reality.
Right. Now, have you seen Billy Corbin's amazing documentary, Broke?
Yes, I watched that.
Is that like a mantra for you? Is that required viewing for all of your potential clients?
Is that the one on Netflix where they preview some athletes?
Yeah, I mean,
I saw that.
It's
so what? Just to set the stage, because I don't know if our audience has seen it. It's a documentary about former athletes and the troubles they suffer really after they're done.
Right, and a lot of these athletes have made, more money than most people will ever. Their whole families will make in 20 lifetimes. And and lost it all, right?
Yep, I lost it all. And you know what? There's different situations. There's so many professional athletes that go through these different circumstances, and they write books about it. And I think right now, professional sports is taking it to a whole another level. Each sport they're looking into how can they be able to help the professional athletes after they're finished with their professional career, and where they can be able to have a system where it helps them to deal with not being in the professional limelight or being a professional athlete anymore. And I think there's going to be some positive influences in regards to putting that together. So just stay tuned. There will be some things in regards to helping these professional athletes transition from being a professional athlete career to stepping into being a CEO or owner or a businessman or a woman.
Now, what are your thoughts? This is a big, a big issue, I guess, in the public right now. But what are your thoughts on college athletes being paid?
Well, I do think that, and I know I just saw where I believe it's the Northwestern University, where they turned that they did not go through with.
Right, the athletes formed a union and basically
correct,
went on strike against the school.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know they could do that in college.
What I think, and I'm only saying this because I was a college athlete and I was paid to play collegiate sport. I do think that in regards to financial aid and the money that they're giving, it needs to be increased. And I think the NCAA has increased in regards to the funds, in regards to financial aid and the package that the student athletes are receiving. I think they have increased it, believe it or not. But I do think I think that's a way of paying the athletes in regards to them getting a free tuition, and that they get a stipend. Now, like I said, I think that does need that it happens where they get a stipend. The money needs to increase, and I think the NCAA has heard the cries for that and has increased those scholarships where students can be able to have a little bit more. Right.
I mean, if nothing else, giving them some sort of remuneration will teach them, to manage money on their own. A lot of these people going to school, they've been working, dawn to dusk in their sports, get to school, get paid for it, don't pay a dime for anything. Everyone buys them everything their whole lives, and then they make millions of dollars out of school and have no idea what to do, how to balance their own budget.
Yep, complicated issues. Kevin, we have to take another break. I want to thank you for being on the show. I feel bad our interview's coming to an end, but I want to congratulate you because I first read your story in, I forget, one of the papers, maybe the Sun Sentinel, about 40 under 40, and I know you made that, and that's really what turned me on to you. And I have to tell you, you're an inspiration not only to athletes. Look, that's great, but I really think you're an inspiration to everyone, and I sincerely thank you. I think we need more people in this country like you, and you got to. I'm going to help spread your story because, again, the inspiration, that's what does it.
Thank you so much, Jack. I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me on this show today.
My pleasure. It's a pleasure. Again, Kevin Johnson, 40 under 40. He's the man, sports management, the real-life ballers. Kevin, thanks again. Everyone else, stay tuned. We got to take a quick commercial break.
To all the athletes that listen to our show on a regular basis, please call Kevin. Kevin, give him your contact information or how to get in touch.
And, Kevin, don't forget the Access Women. I'll be able to help you with that.
You could be able to get in touch with me if you go to my website. It is www.johnsonmgi.com. Our handle for Twitter, Instagram is Johnson, JOHNSONMGI.
And this guy has the biggest, best smile in the world. I wish I had his face. Kevin, thank you, my friend. We got to take a commercial break. We'll be back in 2-3 minutes.